Hello, Tottenham fans. As we're not in the FA Cup this weekend, I just want to think of something to talk about. And what I want to talk about today is the fantastic future, the potential of these young players coming through at Spurs. And the future, in my opinion, looks amazing. The amount of players we've got already coming through into the first team, the players that we have going out on loan, and also a couple of players that I tell you at the end of the video who we should sign to elevate us even more. But we don't even have to splash the big cash to get these players and improve our squad, in my opinion. So these sorts of players that are coming through at the moment are doing very, very well. If we start off with the players that we've got already playing well in the Premier League, and I'll start with Archie Gray, obviously just an 18-year-old at the moment. He's just won the London Award for Player of the Year. For what he's been doing for Spurs. He's been playing out of position nearly every single week. Well, every single week really. He's a midfielder playing in defence. In my opinion, he's gone on leaps and bounds. He's so good on the ball. He's so confident. He's strong in the tackle. I'm just super excited to see what he can do when he finally does go in the DM role, because I feel that he can protect us massively in the back. Then we could move on to Lucas Bergvall. Lucas Bergvall's just turned 19 years old. Again, another player that's come on leaps and bounds. He's my first choice in midfield at the moment. He's everywhere on the pitch. He's strong in the tackle. He's over 6 foot, so he's good in the air. He's got an eye for a pass. He can twist players inside out. He's such an exciting player. And Gray and Bergvall together are already making a massive impact at Spurs. And can you imagine in the next couple of years how great these players are going to be? Another player we have that's impressed me this season is Mikey Moore. When he was playing those Europa League games, and I can't remember which team he was playing against, but that team where he just ripped them apart, and I think we ended up winning 3-0, but he was everywhere on the pitch. He should have got an assist that day with a brilliant run through about 3 or 4 players and a through ball to, I think it was Werner, and obviously Werner missed because that's what Werner does, but Moore looked very, very good until he had his illness, and then his illness obviously is stopped him a little bit, but he'll be back. But he's still only 17 years old. He's showing so much promise. He just seems to make the right pass all the time. So we've got players out on loan as well. Oh no, sorry, I've got to mention Odegaard as well. I know Odegaard hasn't really made an impact just of yet. He looks very exciting though. He hasn't really had a chance. He's been injured most of the season. He does show exciting touches on the ball. He knows how to get past the man. Once he starts getting that end product on top of that, he's going to be a sensational player, this Odegaard. Then we've got players out on loan like Yang for QPR. He's getting rave reviews by QPR. He's got 1 assist already, but he's playing more of a right winger than he is a right forward player at the moment, I think because of their system. But fans are saying QPR fans are saying how good he is at such a young age. And not only that, is he's played a few games where the opposition's tried to kick lumps out of him, but he still stood strong, got up and carried on. And that bodes well for the Premier League, because the Premier League is very, very physical. He's a very, very skillful player as well. And, you know, he could come on leaps and bounds if he gets a chance in the first team. Maybe he might need to go out on loan again next season, but it's positive signs for him already. Next player I want to talk about is an attacking midfielder. And this one I'm really excited about, and that's Jamie Donnelly. Jamie Donnelly is playing for Leyton Orient at the moment. He's probably their best player now in that attacking midfielder role. Everything goes round him. I was watching a few Leyton Orient channels, and they're saying already he's too good for them. If they don't go up this season, he needs to be playing minimum Championship level. But not only that, they're saying he can play in the Premier League, and he will play in the Premier League at some point. He's got a wand of a left foot. He can score from any distance. He scored that fantastic goal against Manchester City. He's got an eye for a through ball. He's got a good cross on him. He's strong in the tackle as well, so he defends from the front. He never stops running. So there's so much positivity coming from Jamie Donnelly. It's unreal. And I think he scored 6 goals this season as well. He's only a 19-year-old in his League One. I know their levels are a little bit lower in League One, but it's still a fantastic achievement to be one of the best players. A lot of experienced Leyton Orient players in that team, and he's one of the best. So, rave reviews for him, and I'm excited for him to come and, do a pre-season with Spurs. Then we've got Ashley Phillips playing for Stoke at the moment. His numbers, if you look at his stats, don't look that great, but Stoke fans seem to love him. He's a very solid centre-back, and he's, I think he's over 6'2", 6'3". He's dominant in the air. He's strong in the tackle. He's not that slow either, to be honest. So Phillips could be another one to look at in the future. Then we've got another centre-back out in Belgium playing for Westerlo. This kid, he's only just turned 18. He scored 7 goals and got 1 assist, and he's a centre-back. This guy is insane. He's so good in both boxes. He'd be a massive asset for Spurs for corners and free kicks, because he just seems to know how to get on the end of the ball. And you put this into context. Even if you sent a 17-year-old out to in the Belgium league and they scored 7 goals, that would be considered as a good season for a striker. He scored 7 goals and he's a centre-back. So put that into context of how well he's actually doing. He's dominating that league. Belgium league is obviously nowhere near the levels of the Premier League, but remember, he's just turned 18. Huge future for that kid, I'm telling you. So then we've got Alfie Devine out there too, playing with the same team. He's playing for Westerlo as well. He scored 4 goals, but he's just recently got injured. He's playing in an attacking midfielder role as well. So we seem to be getting a lot of players in that attacking midfield role. It's funny because a couple of seasons ago, that's what we was missing. And now we seem to have an abundance of it, especially now that Kulusevski's moved into that role. We've got James Maddison. We'll have now Jamie Donnelly fighting for that. Devine might be fighting for that. So lots of promise in the attacking midfield area. So then we've got Lancashire has gone to West Brom, but Lancashire has only had 10 minutes in 4 games. They're not really playing him a lot. Apparently, when he did play, the fans liked him, but he's just not getting game time at the moment. But when he played for Spurs in Europe, the one that stood out for me was against Galatasaray away, when he scored that goal and just went to the fans and stuck his arms out like a Jude Bellingham. It was he impressed me that day, and I still think he's got a very strong future. Whether it's with Spurs or with someone, he will have a good future, in my opinion. We've got Dane Scarlett fighting for that position up front as well. He's proper bulked up now. He looks very strong on the ball. He doesn't get bullied off it like he used to. He's a good finisher. Jose Mourinho bigged him up when he was here, saying he was glad he was the first person to play him because he's going to be a sensational striker when he's older. And he's starting to look good, in my opinion. He's starting to get there. Another player that went under the radar was Mason Melia, who came from Ireland. I think it's St Patrick's he used to play for. He's like a Liam Delap type player, very strong, hold up, number 9, knows where the goal is, pacey, skillful. It's like a Solanke sort of thing as well. He's only young, he's only 17. People are touting him to have a really, really good future too. We signed him in, I think it was a January window, so that went under the radar. We actually went under the radar as well for Daniel Batty. He's another attacking midfielder, by the way. We signed him from Manchester City. He's highly rated at City, and Spurs bought him in. So, even more attacking midfielders to watch out for. So we've still got players as well, if you think about it, that are still relatively young. Van der Ven's only 23, Udogi's only 22, Sarr's only 22, Brennan Johnson's only 23. So for me, this is the most exciting bunch of young players we've ever had, especially in the Premier League era. So we're doing something right youth-wise, because we're scouting the world for the best young players. We've already got a really decent academy coming through. There's still loads of academy players I haven't mentioned, so I haven't mentioned that. But I might do that in another video. But if you think of someone I haven't mentioned, please tell me in the comments who that is. But if we can find a balance of, experience and these young players coming through at the same time, we will have an outstanding squad, in my opinion. Players I think we should bring in, and these are not all older players, but this one is Anthony Robinson for Fulham. He's Fulham's left back. He's a USA international. For me, he never stops running. He's really strong defensively, and he's brilliant going forward. He's already got 10 Premier League assists this season. That's more than any Spurs player, by the way. 10 Premier League assists this season from left back. He would be an outstanding player to rotate with Udogie. Imagine having Udogie, Anthony Robinson, Spence, and Porro as your fullbacks. That would be it for me. That's what we need. All different types of players as well. I know he doesn't invert at Fulham and he's better at playing on the wing, but we haven't been doing that so much this season. So Anthony Robinson would be a top target for me if it was me looking for a left back. And another guy I would definitely bring in is Liam Delap from Ipswich. We might even get a bargain deal for him, but we're going to have a lot of competition for him. He is a brilliant centre forward. And if you was going to ask me on this day who I'd pick out of Tell and Liam Delap, I would send Tell back and I'd bring Liam Delap in all day long. Liam Delap is a brilliant striker. I watched both his games when he played against us, and in the most recent game, he could have scored a hat-trick in the first 15 minutes. He's a menace up front. He's strong. He's good in the air. He knows how to finish. He's Harry Kane-esque sort of player at a very young age. He's a very good player, and he's going to be a top player in the future, I'm telling you. So we need to snap him right up. Another player we can get, and we wouldn't have to pay the massive bucks for him, is Jobe Bellingham from Sunderland. And not just because his name is Bellingham, but because he's getting rave reviews. He plays in the defensive midfield role as well. He's only 19 years old. He's already got 4 goals and 3 assists from that position as well. So not bad. He can play in the 8 and he can play in the 10. He's very versatile, but his main position is defensive midfield. So if we had Jobe Bellingham and Archie Gray playing in as a 6 rotation, I think that will be strong going forwards. Maybe we will need an experienced one just for next season and the year on for them two to learn from. But them two going forward in the future, I think, are going to be insanely good players. We added them 3. We added 3 more experienced players into that squad. We can have a fantastic team going forwards in the next 5 to 10 years. So exciting times for me. Exciting times. I really think that we can really push on in the next few years and become a force in this Premier League. Whatever we're doing it right, because these players coming through are looking very good. If even 50% of them became world class, we'd have a magnificent first team, I'm telling you. Let me know in the comments what you think of these players coming through. Do you think I'm overrating them, or do you think that they are going to be something special going forward and we should be excited for our future? Thank you for watching, and come on you Spurs!